not a color. Black is not a color. So
Oh,
when
yeah,
you
yeah.
say you use
Absence of
blacks,
color,
you,
yep.
you mix them, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah, mix them.
Yes.
Yeah,
Good.
I just
I have a friend that's going
Uh,
to watch this show, and his name is Ronnie.
yep.
He's an awesome guitar player, and he's a friend of mine. And he says, well, I beg to differ. He says, white and black are color. And I say, no. So I have a professional artist here who's telling us that black and white are not colors, and it's a fact. I like the way he blends his colors. I like the fact that he can take the black and make the black useful. Because when you say black, black is black. But when you mix it like he did, it works. You've created a really nice
All right,
atmosphere.
yeah, just adding contrast to make it more interesting.
Yeah.
So I'll do the Elke Sommers. This one I'll change.
This will bring back memories for people
Yeah.
that were born in the 50s. Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is
Elke Sommer.
yeah, I think this is straight. Oops. All right, here you go. Yeah, so this is a Elke Sommer. Was based on a photo that I loved. This is my second attempt painting it. The first attempt wasn't as good, so I think I got the right proportions correct on this one. It was based on a black and white photo, so I have to use my own color scheme.
Right.
For you who don't know who Elke Sommer was, she was a German actress back in the early
50s,
60s, early
yeah.
60s, I think. Her famous movies in the States was A Shot in the Dark with Peter Sellers and The Prize with Paul Newman, if you guys remember that one, those movies.
I do. I certainly
All right,
do.
yeah.
I remember
All
her.
And
Gee.
yeah, so this is painted on a canvas, so it's it won't be as painting on canvas on acrylic does absorb more, so you have to add more paint, I think. In this case here, so I use my own imagination to get the right skin tones on this painting. So the light source is kind of facing her on the side here. So to make it her portraiture stand out more, you want to put always a dark background in contrast to the
Right.
to make the skin tone stand out more. So what I did was, again, I use a lot of black mixed with phthalo blue mixed with here to make it stand out, and each brush stroke I use on the here is use a number 2 brush painted with white over a Naples yellow mixed with brownish color, so the white now would stand out more after I paint over the yellow, so you get a more streaky looking hairstyling brush on the hair, and then on the portraiture, I tend to focus, make sure that the face is correctly painted correctly. So a lot of details need to be paid attention to the color of her lips, the nose, the eyes, and then you always want to make sure there's some shadow and blending of her eyes, and then
As far as the flesh tones are concerned, what do you use primarily for flesh tones on, say, the standard portrait?
Yeah, it's always a mixture of colors. So there's raw sienna mixed with a little bit of crimson red and whites, and then there's Naples yellow, a little bit of touch of that, and they're all different proportions. You got to get it correctly. So for a Caucasian color person, you have to use a little more white and crimson red and stuff.
I've never seen a tube
Yeah,
at Hobby Lobby or anywhere else that says Caucasian.
Yeah,
You
no,
have
it
to,
isn't. No,
You know
Probably
what's
not.
this is where Saturday Live Group comes in
Yeah.
when you have the lighting and you have the model and some are more in the light than out of the light or back and forth. You get the catch.
Yeah.
The flesh tones are not white, pure white, or like they say, you know, I'm a white guy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not white guy. I think I'm a little caramel colored.
Yeah.
But that's why I asked Jim about his colors. The color spectrum is endless, and when you say flesh tones, there's a variety of combinations, right, Jim? I mean, you don't use the same all the time. You may, right.
Yeah.
And that's what I like to get across is that color, you can take it and you can do such amazing things with it. I like his flesh tone colors because they're subtle yet they're definitive. They're like this lady here now.
This is also Elke Sommer's too.
Years later.
Yeah, it was also based on a black and white painting, so I have to use my own color scheme.
She's kind of sad there.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I didn't make her smiling here. So she's twisting at an angle. So there's some foreshortening here.
There's that word.
Yeah, the foreshortening, so that you see the shoulder, and you don't see
the rest of
her other opposite shoulder. So there.
That was a hard one, I'll bet.
Yeah, so then I have to use a more brownish and mix with the flesh tones to make it darker coloring. And then again, I try to also make the blacks added in here to darken the lips, because you want to have the light is shining from the left side of her face, so now you want to cast a shadow here. And then there's a shadow of her nose along with the eyes. And then because the light is shining on the face, there's a mixture of, there's some whites there that I painted over the flesh tones after I did that. And so I went back and add some whites, and then the bridge of her nose is also white. And then the diamonds on her earrings is more abstract. If you look far away, it looks like it's detail, but it's really made out of small dots of white, gray, and black tones there.
You put a lot of time in your paintings because you show detail. People tell me all the time, why don't you lighten up and just let it flow, but there's something about detail that once you get into it, you can't.
Oh yeah, you don't want to make it like a photograph.
No, you don't.
I have another one. Are we running out of time?
No, we still have some time.
Okay,
yeah.
I got four more.
Yeah.
This is what actually my first one back as soon as I retired in 2006.
That's your first one you did there.
The first one I did. This is more abstract. I want to emphasize the face, looking right smack at the viewer. And this is also done on acrylic with gray undertones. I try to make the eyes as realistic as possible. So this could be a portrait. It turns out it looks like a portrait of Pat Benatar, the pop singer.
Yes.
So
and I was going to say Jane Fonda.
Yeah, it could be anybody, but I didn't really start off like that. So
and that's the first one you did when you had your.
Yeah, I was back in after I retired, fully retired, in 2016. I did this in the wintertime.
You're also at that point in time, and so am I. I'm retired, where I can devote time to this, and then after a while, after a couple of years, I get mad at myself because I wish I had been doing this for 40 years instead of 10 or 15. But now it's never too late.
Yeah, that was done in January 30th.
Of this year?
Of 2016.
2016.
Yeah. So, this is a little more abstract.
This one,
the reason I like this one is as you look closer, it's really rough at here. It's kind of gray tone because I started off with a gray tone. And then I just use, I a light texture of
Again,
blue,
was that a
dark
black
blue.
and white photograph?
Yeah.
You know, I actually like doing that, taking the black and white, and
Yeah.
you can learn that way. I mean, it
Yeah.
really is a tool.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you said you did a couple of those in black and white photographs, and people
Yeah.
go, well, how can you change black and white into
Yeah.
color?
Yeah.
Well,
Just use your imagination on the color scheme.
right. This one here has a real...
All right. I'll do that one. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. This is another portrait of pop culture.
Okay.
If it's a portrait of Priyanka Chopra, the Indian-based actress from Quantico, which is a Monday night detective show.
Wow.
So,
That's
so this is done in
too,
oil.
right?
This is done in oil, and
Do you do the same thing when you work on oil? Do you tint with the
Yep.
light gray in the back?
yeah, this is all gray right here. So
Right.
so it was easy for me to just paint the flesh tones and the blacks on the gray undertone that I applied on the painting. But the gray undertone is actually acrylic base, so I make it so it's fast drying. But then the oil is applied on the acrylic base undertone. So
Yeah, you can paint oil on a acrylic prime canvas. A lot of people
Yeah,
say, "Oh no."
that's-
Well, the
makes
old
it
days
flatter,
you
yeah.
couldn't, you know, but
Yeah.
now you can. The technology.
yeah, on one painting I did use an oil base undertone. That was on the Marilyn Monroe one, but so this is again details in the eyes and the nose is there.
And you sketch these out. Just sketch them. Right
Oh yeah,
there
you have to
on-
sketch these out. You gotta. The first thing to do a painting is make sure the right proportions and are done right. Otherwise, you won't have a start off with a good starting point.
Right.
So detail to drawing it is very important in painting a portrait. Yeah, otherwise, you won't get her face right, and the challenge is always in a portraiture that someone should be able to recognize what you paint.
Mm-hmm. Speak
So-
of all.
Yeah. So here's another one that's also done in oil in a 16 by 20.
There you go.
This
Now,
this is an iconic figure.
everybody should know this
Yeah.
figure for
Yeah,
sure.
this is Marilyn Monroe with the dreamy eyes, and that way her eyes are half closing. I don't have to worry about painting too much on the on that. But yeah, again, this is based on Indian yellow undertone oil, and then I use a little bit impasto effect on the fur that she's wearing. So that's also roughing it on the canvas there.
Use a palette knife when you do that, right?
Yeah, right. And since we're running further on time, I'll go ahead and show you some more portraits
Okay.
that I've
Let me
done.
grab that one for you.
Yeah. Okay, this is another famous portraiture I hope that somebody can recognize. This is a portrait of Katy Perry.
Katy Perry, the
Yeah, 18 by 24, done on linen cloth, canvas, a linen cloth. Yeah,
that's linen cloth.
Yeah, this is linen because I can tell by its
What do you
brownish background.
What do you prefer to paint on? A wood panel or canvas or linen cloth?
A linen cloth actually is
I've never
a
done
better
it.
quality, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Can you tell the difference when you use it though?
Not much. Well, I think it by being because it comes in a more neutral color. It's kind of a light brownish on the linen cloth linen
Right.
cloth. It's not naturally white, so it's not a stark white color. That's like the canvas, the duck canvas material. So
Yeah.
that way you can. But I did a gray undertone. On this canvas, and there I try to emphasize the face looking at the viewer. So I focus on making sure the eyes look realistic enough with the blending of her eyes.
The detail.
Detail. There's there's less detail on the hair, but I put a little bit of gray streaks to make it for the painting
Right.
of her portrait there.
Well,
So-
I'd like to thank you
Yeah.
for coming on the show.
All right. Yep.
I'm glad that